Hi everyone. I hope I'm audible. Let me just check once. So today we'll be discussing about the biology paper that you had, the board paper for ICSE class 10 term 2. So we'll be discussing the answers here. Okay. Alright, so before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Vani Kari, biology educator at Unacademy. I'm an engineer with bachelor's and master's degree in biotechnology and a B.Ed degree. Also a founder of a startup where I grow microgreens by vertical farming technology. Alright, so let's see this. Okay, so join with us in Telegram for homework and class notes. You can join the channel Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology. Okay, and the Telegram channel of Unacademy ICSE and ISC both. So this link you can find in the description box. So click on the link and join the channel for updates regarding the classes. Also, we conduct special classes on Unacademy platform. So learn from your favorite educator for free. Engage with educators via polls, like we'll be conducting a quiz. So at the end of the quiz, so we'll be sharing the leaderboard so you can know your rank and compete with your friends as well. Clear your doubts in the live special class. So there is a separate question tab where you can you have an option to attach an image and send it to the educator during a live session, so they'll be clearing your doubt. Okay, so for the top special classes you can visit the link in the description. And Unacademy subscription features, so you can learn live from the comfort of your home. Okay, unlimited access to all the courses will be there, like different educators will come up with different courses, so you will have access to all the courses once you take the subscription. Then top educators of India are going to take the classes in one platform, that is Unacademy platform. There is a regular doubt clearing session, like after about every 3 session. The 4th session will be our doubt clearing session. So any doubts you have related to the topics that are previously covered, so you can clear your doubt in this session. Okay, then complete syllabus will be covered. Mentorship and guidance is given. Hi Kamakshi, good evening. So we'll discuss about the question answers. Okay, so mentorship and guidance is given, study material is given, the practice test is given. Okay, live test series and also batch courses will be there. All right, so along with that there is a daily practice section, weekly mock test series, live quizzes, daily MCQ and subjective test series are also there. Okay, so right now there is a price hike that is going to occur on May 20th. So before that, if you are planning for the subscription, so that is only till May 19. So these are the respective respective months are given and a cost is given. So this is the lowest ever price that you can get on Unacademy, and this is a never before offer. So if you are planning to take the subscription, so since this is the very beginning of your class 10, so you can go with the 12 months of subscription. So for 12 months you will be paying 12k. Okay, and the code is Vani YT. So with this code you will be getting 20% discount, where you will be seeing 30% of the charges. Okay, all right, so let's see this. Myself Akshat, so you are a student academy. All right, good evening. So let's see this. So this is semester 2 examination biology paper. Okay, so the paper 3 what you had, so which is of 40 marks. So time was 1.5 hours. So you have attempt all the questions from the section A and any 3 questions from the section B. So let's discuss that. Okay, so let's get with this. So section A, attempt all the questions from this section. Okay, so what have you written for this one? The first question, the first one, the mineral element in the hemoglobin. So this was a very easy paper, I guess. For I at least felt it is easy, of course, but I think for you also this was anyway easy itself. So we'll discuss each one of these. Okay, so what have you answered this one? Shaurya has given B. So this is the iron. So this is B itself. Okay. So moving on to the next one. The number of cranial nerves in human are. So how many cranial nerves are there? So all of you have given B as the answer. So 1 mark you got here. Okay. So this one you got 1 mark. Then number of cranial nerves in a human. D, 12 pairs. So is there anybody who has written only 12? So D only you have written, no, all of you? Okay. So Anubhav, D. Yes, that's right. So it is 12 pairs. Okay. So it is not 12. Okay. So 12 pairs you can find. So since they are asking a cranial nerve, so it is 12 pairs. So if they had asked a spinal one, then in that case it would be 31 pairs. So now this is the correct one. Shaurya has written A as the answer. Okay. So this one is the wrong one. A, it is not 12 only, it is 12 pairs. So now those who have given the answer as D, so you are getting 1 mark here. Okay, so moving on to the next one. So gigantism and acromegaly are due to hypersecretion of growth hormone, hypersecretion of thyroxine, hyposecretion of growth hormone, hyposecretion of thyroxine. For 3 I am writing. So you are writing it for the 3. Okay, I got it. Alright then. So this is A. So that's right. So have you guys written, all of you have written A as the answer? That is hypersecretion of growth hormone. So Kamakshi has written, where is Studies Academy? Student Academy. Where is he, Akshat? What have you written? Ma'am, I have attempted all and my all answers are right. Is it? That's nice then. But it is the main thing actually. So exact locations you need to write. So there are a lot of chances, people lose marks only most of the cases in exact location. Okay. So thank you. Okay, thank you so much, Shivang. So it's really giving a credit. Recently you have started studying from me, but still you are giving me a credit. All right, thank you anyway. So me too, thank you all. Okay, so let's see this one. So pericardium covers. So it is heart, brain, spinal cord and the eyeball. So which is the one? So expected marks 40 out of 40. Yes, it was actually a very easy paper. So you can expect that, but usually you won't. Anyway you can get also 40 out of 40. It is possible. So you need to write. So they'll try one or the other point and they'll try to cut the marks. Otherwise anyway 40 out of 40 many have got. Yeah, so this is heart. Okay, so let's go to this one. So this one you got 1 mark if you have answered this one. So this is 1 mark, you have got this. So circular opening in the center of iris. So what is that? Expected marks 40. Okay, so we'll discuss. Okay, I'll just go on discussing this. So circular opening in the center of the iris is a pupil. Okay, so pupil if you have written, so then in that case you are getting 1 mark. Okay, Akshat paper was average. He is upset that why he is not answering. Okay, so Akshat paper was morning, he was asking so many questions, and if you just check my telegram, like whatever he has asked, same questions are there. Like I was just wondering like how exactly same questions are there, but not all of them, but still, so whatever he was asking, so same questions were there. Like, so do you feel that the brain question was having? Yes, I felt that. So that's what I wanted to discuss. So I think they have done one wrong labeling there. Okay, so I'm not so sure about that. It can be a back view also. So for that third labeling, maybe you can go with the pons. Okay, so we'll discuss that. Okay, so because group of ICSE group teachers group is there, so everyone were speaking about that itself, that brain diagram. So maybe they have done some labeling as a wrong one. So pons or a medulla, so it can be written as a pons or a medulla also, but I don't know exactly they have shown this can be shown at a pons, somewhat like that they have shown. It is not exactly clear. Okay, so you can go with the pons itself there. Okay, Alright, so let's see this. So circular opening in the center of the iris we have seen. So this is a pupil. So moving on to the next one. So what you have written. Hi Dairy Milk. Hi Kashyap Astro. Good evening. So I think you are all happy today because this is the last day of your exam maybe. So Medulla Oblongata ma'am has said. So you can go for both, I guess. Any, if you are writing, I think they'll give a marks for that. Because the labeling is not done properly. So in such cases, you will anyway get marks. Okay. No. I'm Kannadiga. Okay, so it is B. Which one? Okay, so this is blood vessel that carries oxygenated blood. So this is a pulmonary vein. Okay, so rest of them you can see this is a deoxygenated one. This is a deoxygenated one. And this also deoxygenated one. So this is carrying a oxygenated blood. So this is the one. Okay, so organ of Corti is present inside cochlea, semicircular canal. No, one exam is still left. Which is that exam? So today is not the last one. I thought this is the last one because usually bio papers are at the last. Pulmonary vein. Okay, so this one, the answer next for this one. I'm not Malayali. I'm actually Kannadiga. Okay, so it is a cochlea. Okay, so inside that cochlea only, so there is a basilar membrane. So onto that basilar membrane, so you can see many of the cells. So these are organ of Corti, which are hair-like cells. So basically it is a sensory cell itself. So let's go to this one. The structure that stores urine temporarily is. So structure that stores. Okay, do you have a computer? Okay. I didn't know about this. Usually, like when I was working, so usually bio used to be the last paper. So when do you have a computer? So you are not still relieved then. So you still have one more tension to go. Okay, so structure that stores the urine temporarily is urinary bladder. Okay, then islets of Langerhans are located. So these are basically the endocrine part of the pancreas. So you can go with the option D here. Okay, so 19th you have. Okay, so I wrote dura mater instead of matter. Will I lose marks? No. So you, okay, so I don't think you will lose marks for that, but it is always recommend that you need to write a correct marks, like I mean correct spelling, not a marks. So I don't think you will lose marks for that because only one spelling is there. So dura mater, I think they'll give a marks for such things. But usually it is to be avoided. So earlier there was a half marking system was there. So if any spelling mistake was there, so they used to cut half mark. But I don't know what, like, this time what type of evaluation they might be having. So for dura mater, if you are writing, I'll just confirm on that. Okay, so if you are writing double T, I don't think there won't be any problem. Earlier they used to cut a half mark, but I don't know now. So let's check that. I'll anyway inform you about that. Okay, yeah, so let's see this one. The main nitrogenous waste formed in the human body. What is that nitrogenous waste? So nitrogenous waste is urea. So this is in case of a human body. So mainly we are forming a urea. So there is ammonia also that is formed, but that is in case of aquatic organism. Okay, so since there is lot of water that is required to remove ammonia, so usually humans, when we mention, so we always form a urea. So that is in the liver. Okay, so urea is the nitrogenous waste that is formed. Okay, so let's go with the next one. So dairy milk. Okay, so this one, let's see this. All right. Okay, 1 second. Okay, so section B you will be attempting any 3. Okay, so from this, simple goiter is usually seen in people living in the hilly region. Okay, so this one you need to give 2 reasons for this statement. What reason have you given for this? 2 reasons, because 2 marks it will be carrying. Okay, so what is that reason that you have mentioned? Yes. So I marked renal column in LS. Renal column. So what is that they have asked? I'll check that. Okay, as renal medulla. Okay, so renal cortex and renal medulla they have asked. Okay, so it is in a renal column. No, renal cortex only you need to mention. Renal column if you write, so they'll cut the marks for that. So column is not accepted. Renal cortex only you need to write. Okay, so let's see this one. The reason for this one, simple goiter is usually seen in a people living in a hilly region. So one condition is basically why it is seen. So there is mainly hypothyroidism, that is a hyposecretion of a thyroxine hormone occurs. So this reason, so that is the reason they are getting simple goiter. And another reason what you can give is basically the soil, and soil is actually deficient in iodine. Okay, so soil is deficient in iodine, and so the vegetables which are grown in that soil, so they are also deficient in iodine. So that's the reason, since the iodine is not being provided, so usually simple goiter can occur, because for thyroxine to be released, iodine is efficient, it is necessary. So if iodine is not there in the soil, because it is in a hilly area, so iodine less will be there, so they can go for the iodized salt. So these are the two reasons that you can mention. Okay, and what are the two types of blood circulation that you can find in humans? Lack of iodine rich diet, yes, that is there. So two reasons they have mentioned. Give two reasons why exactly it is caused. One you can say hyposecretion, that is of thyroxine. The other one is soil which is deficient in iodine. Okay, so two types of blood circulation. Leaching deficient in iodine, hence deficient in food. Yes, that's right. I marked renal column between renal pyramids as renal medulla. Is it correct? Okay, so you are asking like that. So renal medulla also you have mentioned. Who is this? JJ. Have you mentioned renal medulla? So if you have mentioned renal medulla, so it's fine. Okay. So renal column also if you have written, but you need to mention renal medulla there. So pulmonary and systemic. Okay, so pulmonary and systemic circulation are the two types of circulation that you can find. So that is in case of a human. Okay, now mention the three major steps involved in the production of a urine. So what are those three major steps? Okay, yes, fine then. Okay, so what are those three major steps? So first one being the ultrafiltration. Okay, so next being the selective reabsorption or selective absorption, or you can just mention it as a selective absorption process or a reabsorption. Then other than that, there is a tubular secretion that occurs. So these are the three main processes which are occurring for the formation of the urine. So only at the end of the tubular secretion that we can call it as a urine. Until then it is not a urine. Okay, so mention the three major steps involved in the production. So this is done. So draw a neat diagram of a neuron and label any two parts. So what parts have you labeled? Have you done the diagram properly? So people are not well developed in hilly regions. So it is not like that. So people are not well, it's not people are not well developed. So soil is not having a iodine. Okay, and so the vegetables grown in that soil is not having a iodine, and that's the reason the thyroxine is not produced. As the thyroxine is not produced, there can be simple goiter. So less production might be occurring. Okay, so let's see. So cyton and other things you have drawn. So basically you can draw the neuron structure. Okay, so one long process you will be showing. So anyway, these are short processes that you will show. Okay, so this everything you need to draw. So this is one long process now. So which is having an axon terminal. So you can show the myelin sheath. Okay, so there is a myelin sheath covering this. So covering that you can show the neurolemma as well. Okay, so there is a neurolemma. So we can draw one more. Then you can show the nucleus here in these cells. Okay, so here also you can show the nucleus. Then all these have to be drawn. Labeling you can do any two. Okay, so every part, but you need to draw there. So nasal granules you can mention in there. So dendrite, dendron, cell body, myelin sheath, neurolemma, nucleus, node of Ranvier, axon terminal, everything you need to draw. Okay, So you mark cyton and axon. Yes, okay. I labeled nucleus and dendrites in labeling. So yes, yeah, even if you are labeling that, that is fine. Okay, so any two labels if you do. So since the question itself is any two labels that you need to do, so that's fine. Okay. All right, let's go with the next one. So what is adrenal virilism? Any of you? What is that adrenal virilism? So there is a overgrowth. Okay, so overgrowth you can find, so that is with respect to adrenal cortex. Okay, so as the adrenal cortex is overgrowing, so there is more of androgen hormones, I mean androgens released from the women's body. Okay, so now this particular woman in her body, when the overgrowth of adrenal cortex occurs, so in that case, you know, you can see the male characteristics in case of a female. So this can occur in case of a male also, but we don't use any particular term for that. So this adrenal virilism is mainly for a woman who is showing the male characteristics. So that is because of the overgrowth of the adrenal cortex. Okay, so what causes this condition? So this is the one. Adrenal virilism is basically women showing a male characteristics. All right. Yeah, so hypersecretion of the adrenal cortex. Yes, that's right. Okay, so female characteristics in case of a male and male characteristics in case of a female. Yes, that's also fine. So what you have written, so that's absolutely right. Okay, so which is the light sensitive layer of the eyeball? Which is that layer? So light sensitive layer of the eyeball is retina. Yes, so have you guys written it as a retina itself? Yes, so it is a retina. Okay, so light sensitive layer of the eyeball is retina. And where exactly is the image formed? So you can write it as a yellow spot. Okay, so yellow spot is the region of best vision, or also it is the color vision. So we can write the image formation can occur at the yellow spot. Yes, macula lutea, yellow spot, or the fovea centralis. Any of these names you have written, so it's absolutely right. Okay, full आएंगे. So Abdullah is I think come full on happy maybe. So full on. Okay, so macula lutea सारे questions attempt किए हैं, so you will get it. Okay. All right, so let's go to the next one. So this is basically yellow spot. Now study the diagram given below and answer the questions that follow. Okay, so you can see here the image formation is occurring here. Okay, so as the image formation is occurring, so what is this condition? So what condition do we call this one? Yes. Hyperopia. Yes, so this one is a hyperopia, or you can just mention it as a hypermetropia also. So identify the defect of the eye. So that is, you need to use the technical term itself. So long sightedness if you have written, so this will be not considered. Okay, so you need to write it as a hyperopia or a hypermetropia. So in that case this can be considered. So that is a technical term. Okay, so mention one reason for this defect. So shortening of the eyeball from front to back, so that's correct. Lens is too flat, so that is also correct. So one reason only they have asked, so even if you are writing both of them, it's fine. So at least one has to be there. Okay, so name the type of a lens used to correct this defect. So what is that lens? Convex lens is used. Yes, that's right. Okay, so convex lens is used for this particular defect. So after the correction factor is used, so you can see there is a image formation which is occurring here. Okay, so converging lens. Yes, so let's okay, so one more is there. So give the biological term for the 3 tiny bones present in the middle ear. So what are those tiny bones which are present in the middle ear? Malleus, incus and a stapes. So this is the one. So this is the ear ossicle. So 3 of the ear ossicles are malleus, incus and a stapes. Okay, so this is right. Okay, so let's go with the next one. So that is question number 4. So name the endocrine gland that secretes the thyroxine. So which is that gland? One which secretes the thyroxine. So this carries 2 marks. Okay. And they have asked give any one function of a thyroxine. So all the questions are actually easy. Like first 3 questions what we saw here. Like first 3 questions, that is question 1, 2 and 3. So all of them are anyway easy. Okay. So this one is thyroid gland. Yes, that's right. So thyroid gland is there. So the function is basal metabolism. Okay. So regulates the basal metabolism, like ossification of bone also you can write. Since they have asked any one function, so you can write any of them. So basal metabolism is basically temperature regulation. Okay. And other than that there is a ossification that you can see. Okay. And mental development is also a function of a thyroxine as well. Okay, so give the full form of the abbreviation ACTH. So this is ACTH is adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay, so this is adrenocorticotropic hormone. Okay. And you can see who, like which gland secretes this hormone. So which gland is the one which is secreting this hormone? What you have written? So anterior pituitary. So yes, that's right. Okay, so this is secreted by the anterior pituitary. So you need to be specific there. So don't just write pituitary. So if you have written pituitary, anyway they'll give the marks, but you need to be specific. Okay, so they'll decide again, they'll give they'll think about whether a half mark or full mark. So you can go with the anterior pituitary. So you need to be very specific there. So define the term synapse. Okay, so already you have written. Okay, so synapse is a point of contact between the terminal branches of axon of a neuron with the dendrites of another neuron with a fine gap in between them. Yes, that's right. It increases the basal metabolism. Yes, that's right, Chinmay. Okay, so synapse is a point of contact between 2 neurons. So Akshay has written only that much. It is a point of contact between 2 neurons. Yes, what you have written, so that's right, Chinmay. Okay, yes, I just read that. So is this correct? Yes, so Shaurya, what you have written, so that is perfect definition you have written. Okay, so Akshay, so you could have written it completely. So if you have only written this much, anyway it is correct only. So you wrote full. All right, so question 3 ka answer bata dijiye. Which is that question 3? So I already discussed that. So you can just watch the session again. Okay, just forward it. You can watch it in 2x also. Okay, so you wrote the big definition. Okay, so that's fine then. Okay, so if you have written, it's fine. So try to write whatever definition is given. So you need to write that. So how are cytons and axons of a neuron placed in the cerebrum? So now in cerebrum there is a cortex region. Okay, and again in the cerebrum you can find a medulla region. Okay, so what exactly cortex region is actually a gray matter. Okay, so there is a gray matter. Medulla region you can find a white matter. So gray matter when we mention, so this is made up of cyton or a cell body. White matter when we mention, so this is made of a axon. So if you have written this, you will be getting a full marks for this question. Okay, yes, so cortex, cell body, so cyton, so cyton, and medulla it is axon. Okay, so you need to mention the gray matter, white matter also. Okay, or since they are asking only cyton and axon, so even if you are writing the cortex region, medulla region, but it is always better to mention this one. Okay, so you need to mention cortex and medulla specifically in cerebrum. So you did not mention that. Okay, then how did you say that where is cyton present and axon present? Like you need, okay, so you just mentioned that the gray matter and white matter is there. So this you need to mention, a cortex and a medulla, you need to mention that. Okay, Alright, so let's go with the next one. So name 3 membranous coverings of the human brain. So what are those 3 membranous coverings? So basically membranous coverings, you can call them as a meninges. Okay, so outermost being the dura mater. Okay, and the inner one, like next, that is middle one being the arachnoid. Okay, so next one is the arachnoid, the innermost being the pia mater. Okay, so this is the innermost one. So these are the 3 coverings that you can find in a heart. So these 3 coverings together, we call this as a meninges. Okay, so whether you mention a meninges or not does not matter. Okay, so they have asked you to mention these. So if you are mentioning this much, so that's more than sufficient. Yes, so dura mater, arachnoid and a pia mater. Yes, that's right. So I wrote matter inside of a matter. So will it be considered? So this one they will like overall they can cut a mark. Like overall they'll consider all of this together. So overall they can cut a mark for this, because spellings also they'll look at. Okay, so matter and matter. So these are the meaning is gonna change with respect to that. So spellings you need to concentrate. So maybe they can cut a little for that, but they'll cut the marks for sure. Cyton present in exterior, axon present in interior, I wrote. Okay. Okay, so they can give marks for that, but again full marks you won't get for that. So you need to mention cortex and medulla region. So they always expect, so like keywords, always a keyword has to be there. So these are very important. Okay, so ICSE evaluation right from the very beginning in my class also I have told you guys. So keywords are like cortex, medulla, junction. So whatever keywords, like you will understand that this word is important that you need to use. So such words are important, so you need to mention them. All right. Okay, so let's go with the next one. So 5th question. So name the nerve that transmit the impulse to the brain from. So ear and the eye is mentioned. So I wrote dura mater but pia mater. Okay, no problem. Okay, no problem. So they might cut a little marks. Not like since you have mentioned the correct word there. Okay, so complete marks anyway you are not losing, so they might cut a little. Okay, so auditory nerve, yes, that's right. Okay, so ear it is a auditory nerve. Okay, and for eye it is a optic nerve. So this one is a optic nerve. Okay, so this is a auditory nerve and this one is a optic nerve. So a mature mammalian erythrocyte lacks the nucleus and mitochondria. Okay, but it is efficient in its functioning. Okay, so explain by giving a suitable reason. So you need to give the reason for this one. Okay, chances for considering the matter. Yes, so basically matter, they'll there is a chance they can cut the marks, because while evaluation is I have attended a training, so they always highlight on spellings also, so don't mess up with the spellings actually, because matter meaning is going to change, the matter meaning is going to change. So in that case they'll anyway understand that what you have written is correct, but for the spelling there is a chance that they can cut the marks. Okay, so the teacher is going to pay attention even to the minute details, as she is having a lot of copies too. So if that is the case, okay, so it is not like that, only one person is not correcting your paper. So one person corrects, okay, and after that, so if such minute details, lot of times these are ignored also. Okay, so lot of times there is a high chance that these are ignored, but only one person is not correcting your paper. So it will go with 3 or 4 people mainly. Okay, so everybody will check and then only a particular marks will be assigned. Okay, so let's see this one. A mature mammalian erythrocyte, so instead it transport oxygen to the tissues. Yes, that's right. So more surface area, so surface area is gonna increase as the nucleus is absent. Okay, as the nucleus is absent, surface area is more, so that more and more hemoglobin can accommodate, more oxygen supply can be done. As the mitochondria is absent, like it is not there, so oxygen is not self used by the RBC, but the oxygen is supplied to all the tissues. Okay, so that's the benefit of not having a mitochondria as well as a nucleus. Okay, so now okay, so explain. So this is done. So this one is actually a problem. Okay, so you can see that the labeling is done here. Okay, so which I felt that maybe they have done a wrong labeling. So this one is anyway cerebrum. Okay, this is a cerebellum. So now what have you written for the third part? What is this you have written for third one? Loss of nucleus make biconcave, increase surface area. So more number of RBC can accommodate the same space. Okay. So it's not that more number of RBC can accommodate same space. Basically, surface area is increasing as the nucleus is absent. So more hemoglobin can accommodate it is. Okay. So medulla oblongata you guys have written. Okay. So this can be, since I'll just clear this up just a second. So you can see the label is given here. Okay. At this point. 1 second. So this point. Okay. You can see that between the cerebellum hemisphere. Okay, so this is now a cerebellum hemisphere. So this you can see a furrow formation there. So this is the cerebellum. So there is a pons. Okay, so the pons is actually communicating between these two cerebral hemisphere membranes. Okay, so now if they have given a side view of this brain, like you cannot see a corpus callosum and all here. Okay, so in that case, this can be pons or this can be medulla also. Okay. So anyway, since the labeling is done wrong, I think they might give. I'm not so sure about that. I'll just confirm on this. Okay. So I'll inform it on my Telegram group. Okay. So I'll just confirm on this with other teachers also. Other teachers I already asked. So they are also confused like whether this has to be medulla or a pons. I'll just confirm on this one. Okay. So because if they have given, like if they realize that the wrong labeling is done, anyway you will get a marks for this, or otherwise if they feel that this is whatever they have labeled, so it is correct only. So in that case there is a chance that since only one part is given, so it can be either pons or it can be either medulla, because they have not labeled this here. So if they had labeled, we would clearly say that this is a medulla oblongata. And here again they have labeled at the cerebellum itself, which might be wrong. Okay, so if they have given the wrong, so you will get a grace marks for this, or otherwise maybe they'll discuss about this. Okay, so this is that. And other than that, so label the part 2 and 3 is done. So state any one function of the part numbered 1 is mentioned. So you label 3 as a medulla oblongata. So no problem. So no, you need not be sorry for this. So it is, even I am confused because the proper labeling is not done, because this is actually cerebellum. So they are showing the cerebellum here. They are showing the cerebellum here. So we don't understand whether this is a pons or a medulla oblongata that they are trying to explain. So in that case, since labeling is done wrong, so they might give a grace marks also. Or maybe they might be having some other idea. So let's see that. Okay. So this one, state any one function of the part numbered 1. So what is that one function? Any of you state one function of the part numbered 1. No idea? So medulla you have written, Arnav has written a medulla. Okay, it is fine. So even if you have written medulla, it is completely fine. Yes, I was a teacher in ICSE school. So I have taken ICSE evaluation training. So it is usually if some mistakes are there from the both sides, so they'll usually give a mark. So they'll just ignore such things. So they'll give a mark. So there is need not worry about this. Okay. Alright, so state any one function of the part numbered 1. So that is the cerebrum. So cerebrum is mainly a seat of intelligence or consciousness, willpower. So all like reasoning out, like thinking, reasoning, then memory. So all that is associated with the cerebrum. So even if you are writing one function, so that's more than sufficient. So what is the reflex action? Name the two types of reflexes. So what have you written for this? The two types of reflexes. Intelligence, that's right. Okay. Yes, yeah, question number 3, the where image is formed, so that is yellow spot itself. Okay. Okay, what is the, okay, so what is the reflex action? So reflex action is a spontaneous action, okay, which is an involuntary action. Okay. So reflex action. So reflex action is basically, it is a immediate, or we can say quick, or a spontaneous action, where it is actually an involuntary action which will happen under the influence of a stimulus. Like a particular stimulus has to be there, so then a particular action is gonna occur. So what are those two types of reflexes that you will come across under this reflex action? Yes, so immediate involuntary action brought about by the stimulus. Yes, that's the perfect definition. So automatic, spontaneous, involuntary action in the body brought about by a stimulus. So that's also a perfect one. Okay. So this, if you write, that's enough. So you are getting a marks for that. So natural reflex and a conditioned reflex. Yes, that's right. Okay. So these are the two types you can find. So natural reflex and a conditioned reflex. So these are the two types of reflexes you can find. So this is under the involuntary action itself. Okay. So moving on to the next one. Clear, right? Any doubt? Yes, so conditional or natural. Yes, that's right. Okay, so let's go to the next one. So that is question number 6. Give the exact location of the pulmonary semilunar wall and when does it close? When is it closing? Inborn and acquired. Yes, that's right. Okay. So what is this? Thank you. Okay, thank you. Welcome. So give the exact location of the pulmonary semilunar wall. So this is the last question that we have. Okay. So what is that exact location? Any of you? Have you written this one? Or maybe you have left this one? So semilunar wall location, so you need to write the exact location there. So in that case, basically you can write it located at the opening of the right ventricle. Okay, so this is, they are asking about the pulmonary semilunar wall, which is opening at the pulmonary artery. Okay, so that you can write, and it is basically, it main function being this, it is going to prevent the backflow. So that is whenever a dub sound production occurs, so that is a close, it is occurring. So that is this, the semilunar valve is closing, and that is when you can see that there is a prevention in a backflow that is gonna occur. So this is the answer. Then other than that, name the hormone whose deficiency causes. So there is a diabetes mellitus mentioned and diabetes insipidus, located at opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery. Yes, that's right. Okay, you did not go for this one. So closes at the ventricular diastole. Yes, that's correct. Then atrial systole, ventricular diastole. So this one is basically ventricular diastole, like ventricular systole occurs. Okay, so as the ventricular systole occurs, so basically there is a blood rush that is going to occur into the semilunar wall, that is pulmonary semilunar wall. So ventricle is actually under a diastole condition. Okay, so that is when the closing you can see, so that is in a relaxed condition, so that the pressure is going to fall, so there is a backflow that can occur. So ventricular diastole is where you can see there is a semilunar wall that is closing. Okay, yeah, so name the hormone whose deficiency causes diabetes mellitus. So this one is insulin, and the other one being the diabetes insipidus. So diabetes insipidus, it is ADH hormone, that is antidiuretic hormone, or this can also be called as a vasopressin hormone. Okay, so these are the hormones, like this is the one which is causing insipidus. So we can say hyposecretion of this one, or complete absence also can occur, or a hyposecretion can cause a diabetes insipidus. So here also it is a hypo. Then it is asked, Draw a neat diagram of a longitudinal section of a human kidney. Label the renal cortex and the renal medulla. So let's see this. So now while you are drawing a kidney, so make sure that you draw the kidney. So this is the kidney. Now you need to draw the outer covering. So 2 layers you need to mention. So let's say there is a cortex region now. Okay. So this one is a cortex region here. So now one more covering you should draw for this. Okay, so that is a capsule actually. Okay, so while you are drawing a kidney, so this is a renal capsule which you will be mentioning. So this is given in your textbook also. So this is a covering, so that we call as a capsule. So this you can just draw, need not label it. Now this one is a cortex region, so which you can just draw the dots inside this. Okay, so that is basically PCT, DCT, then other one the what is that, Henle's loop. So Henle's loop you can see arrangement over here. Okay, so this one is actually the renal pyramid which you can find in the medulla region. So now this dotted appearance, what is this? So this is a cortex region. Okay, so this is a renal cortex, this one is a renal medulla. So this whole part, what is that? So this is a renal medulla part. Okay, and this one is a pyramid, that is a renal pyramid. So you have to show the pelvis there. Okay, so pelvis you can just show it like this, like from each one of these, the major calyces and minor calyces. So all of them are there is a ureter formation. So this region, what is this? So this is a pelvis, so renal pelvis. So this is a ureter. Okay, so if you have drawn, so that is more than sufficient. And labeling, they have asked only the cortex, renal cortex and a renal medulla, so that is to be done. Okay, okay, so is base of pulmonary artery right? Yes, but location you need to write an exact location. Okay, like it is given in the textbook. So Selena textbook, what they have mentioned is, let me just check that. I think they have given it at located at the opening of the right ventricle into the pulmonary artery, right? So this is for semilunar wall. Yeah, so basically base also it's fine because pulmonary artery is there. Okay, so that is also fine, but usually like for such things they can cut the marks because exact location when they mention. So what is the question there? So have they mentioned? Yeah, so you can see here exact location. So exact means you need to write a Xerox copy of whatever is given in your textbook. So that is the Selena textbook. Okay, all right, so let's see this. So draw neat diagrams. This is done. So mention one function of each of the following. So lymphocyte, the function is to produce an antibody. Okay, so this is to produce an antibody. Then thrombocyte is what? Yes, showing dotted was essential. So you need to show the dotted appearance there. Okay. Mama have shown renal column of Bertini as well. So is it, yeah, whatever extra labeling you are doing, so that's completely fine. Since they have mainly asked these two, so these two have to be there. So this one along with that, if you are labeling any other part, so that's absolutely fine. But these two parts have to be there. So since they are specifically asking these two, so this has to be there. Okay. And for labeling, yes, you need to show striations also in this. Okay. So here you need to show the striation which indicates that there is a collecting duct and then there is a Henle's loop. Okay. So these striations you need to show here. And along with that, the cortex you need to show the dotted appearance. So this is important. Okay. Produce antibody. Yes, this is produce antibody. So this is blood clot formation. So helps in the blood clot formation. So that's right. Neutrophil is phagocytosis. So that is the engulfing of a bacteria. So you can just write engulfing a pathogen, or you can just write it as a phagocytosis also. So that is also fine. Okay. So any of this is fine. All right. So any doubt you guys have? So we are done with all the question discussions, like 6 questions were there. Okay. So all the 6 questions are discussed. So phagocytosis is the answer. Okay. All right then. Okay, so before I end this session, so any doubts you have, you can ask. You completed the whole paper in 47 minutes because I did not write it. Okay, so I did not write it. So to write it completely, it will take a time. So in the question related to location, I have even drawn its proper diagram. So will I get marks? Okay, so anything that you do extra, like whatever they haven't asked, okay, so they have just asked the exact location. You are asking about the location, right? Yeah. So whatever exact location if you have written, so you are getting a marks. For extra diagram, whatever you have drawn, so they won't consider that. Okay, so only if they have asked you to draw a diagram, then only it is considered. So now you have written an extra diagram, so that is fine, but they won't consider it. Okay, so there is no extra mark for that. Yes, JJ, you can ask whatever doubt you have. So any question, any doubt in any of these? I marked renal medulla in between the renal pyramid. Okay, that's fine. That's fine. So that's totally fine. Okay, so renal medulla you have marked between the renal pyramid. So that's fine. Okay, so here also you can just label it like this. So this is a renal medulla. So this whole part is actually a medulla region. So you can mark it anywhere here. Okay, so this one is anyway a renal pyramid. So this is a renal pyramid and this is a renal medulla. So anywhere you have labeled here in this part, so that's completely fine. Okay. Okay, so let's end this session then. So all your doubts are done. Okay, so you can anyway ask your doubts. Until then I'll just say this. So you know there is a ICSE Premier League where we are discussing 3 marks question and 5 marks question in these sessions. It started on 6th of May and it is till 31st of May. Okay, and PCMB, like you know, physics, chemistry, maths and biology subjects are covered in this. So if you like, you know, all you need to do for this one is basically download the Unacademy Learner app and start taking up this session. So we have a gladiators batch. So this is for class 10 which started on May 4th and the mode of delivery is English. So here if you are subscribing for class 10, so you will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free. And some of the sessions are already done. So you can watch the recordings and many more sessions which are yet to go live. So you can attend the live sessions there. So this is a Titans batch. Here the mode of delivery is English. Okay. And other than that, so basically, one second. Yeah, so you know here also you have an option to watch the recording. Okay, so many more sessions which are yet to go live, so you can attend those sessions live. Okay, so here this is May 11th this started. All right, so same way here also, like you know, if you are subscribing for class 10, so you will be getting class 11 and 12 subscription absolutely free. And now you know there is a price hike that is like you know that is happening from May 20th. So those who are planning for the subscription, so you can plan for the subscription before May 19 or exactly on May 19, because there is a price hike. So these are the new prices that you can see. So for 12 months it is 17k. Okay, that is 17,250. So with the offer, so that is 20% discount you are getting on the usage of the referral code Vani YT. So you can use this code where you will be getting 12 month subscription at 12k. Okay, so you will be paying 12k here instead of 17k. So that basically you will be saving 5,250. Okay, so in that case you can go for the subscription as soon as possible. So that is within May 19. As this is the never before offer, or you know, basically the best offer you can get only on Unacademy at this amount. Okay, so now how to watch the special classes All you need to do is download the Unacademy Learner app. Open the app and click on get started. Then you can enter your mobile number and OTP. So sign up using your email ID. Then you can choose a class 6 to 12. Then you can select your category. So that is basically ICSE you can select. Then select your preferred language like English, Hindi or English. Go to the description of this video and click on the link that is available. So you can also click on notify me to get notified about the class 10 minutes before it begins. Okay. Also you can use the code VANIYT to unlock many of the free products that are there on Unacademy. Okay. So thank you all. See you all in the next session. But in text it is given between pyramids, it is the cortex. No, outer region is the cortex. Okay. So outer region is the cortex. So this one is the cortex region. So here you are labeling, here you are labeling, or here. Okay. So anywhere you are labeling. So inside this part, what is this? So this is the medulla itself. Okay. Okay. All right then. Any other doubt? No doubt, right? Okay then. All right, so let's end this session. Okay, so see you all in the next session. All right, so subscribe to our channel, that is Unacademy ICSE and ISC boards. Then click on bell icon to get notified about the session. Like and share the video and download the Unacademy Learner app. So this PDF anyway, you have a question paper already, so I need not send this. But anyway, for other notes, if you need any of them, so you can join in Vani Kari ICSE class 9 and 10 biology. So that is a telegram. So you can just search it and join in that. Okay. All right, so we are at the end of this session. So thank you everyone. I hope you all have done well. The way you were answering, you all have done well. Okay, so slight mistakes here and there will be there, which can be ignored. Okay. All right then. Bye bye everyone. Take care. Thank you so much. See you all in the next session. Bye bye.